Good morning, friends. In yesterday's lecture, we studied about the natural resources on the earth and why the earth has got the all the necessary requirements for life. Yes, we saw the atmosphere, which is the blanket over the earth, the hydrosphere, which is the source of water, and the lithosphere, the solid crust of the earth. So, in the ambient temperature, life sustains on earth. And these natural resources, the crust, the water, the air, is available in plenty but in a very fixed amount. So yesterday we learned about the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and the biosphere, which is a confluence of all the three along with the living and non-living components. Then we studied air, the components of air and carbon dioxide, oxygen and so many things, right? So today we are going to continue the chapter further and study the natural resources. Now yesterday we studied about air. Today we talk about air pollution. So in a natural environment, the air has got a fixed amount of nitrogen, that is 78%, oxygen 21%, carbon dioxide 0.04%. Then we have got the rare gases which make up the atmosphere. Today we are going to learn more components of the atmosphere, but along with that we are going to see how air is polluted. Now before we move on to how air is polluted, let us first understand what is pollution. An increase in the content of harmful substances called the pollutants. So the pollutants are harmful substances not beneficial to life. So an increase in the content of harmful substances in the air like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, fluoride, lead, nickel, arsenic and dust particles cause air pollution. So in short, what is pollution? An increase in the content of harmful substances is called pollution. Yes, an increase in the pollutants is called pollution. Now in air, like I told you, in the normal natural air there is 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 0.04% carbon dioxide and other rare gases. But due to human activities like the factories, the vehicles, the burning, yes, what happens? The smoke is released in the air. Poisonous gases from the chimneys are put in the air, which increase the level of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. So there is a natural level, but by these human activities, unchecked human activities, what happens? The amount of these gases increase in the air, and when they increase, it is very dangerous for living things. So nitrogen fluoride, lead, nickel, arsenic, this is inhaled by the people, and when it is inhaled by the people, it gets accumulated in the lungs because naturally our body has got no provision to break down these pollutants. So we inhale in oxygen and carbon dioxide is thrown out. So our body is designed to take in air, but only oxygen stays in and carbon dioxide is thrown out. But our body, when the particles of lead, nickel, arsenic enter our body, they get accumulated in the lungs because our body does not have a provision to break it down. So when this type of air pollution occurs, what it causes? In humans it causes respiratory and renal problems, high blood pressure, eye irritation and sometimes even leading to cancer. So now we see in the news, if you see the city of Delhi, then it has been coming in the news, the city of Delhi is very polluted. Why it is polluted? Because a lot of people live in Delhi. Delhi is landlocked. Landlocked means it has got land from all four sides. When there is stubble burning in the states of Punjab and Haryana, all the smoke enters Delhi and then stays into Delhi. So Delhi, they have got this pollution indexes called meters and they measure the pollution, and most of the time the air in Delhi remains at a very high level, causes irritation to the eyes, causes cancer, high blood pressure, and so on. So the extra human activities has led to this condition. Also in plants, the pollution causes reduced growth, degeneration of chlorophyll. So now when chlorophyll is degenerated, the plant will not be able to prepare its own food by photosynthesis. And if the plants don't prepare the food, obviously the herbivores, the carnivores, the omnivores will not get their food. So in short, this air pollution is affecting humans and plants and breaking up the whole food chain. Then there is mottling, that is patches or spots of color of leaves keep on changing. So air has to be pure for the living organisms to survive. And human activities are leading to air pollution. Right? Now, how is air pollution caused and what does it do? So the fossil fuels like coal and petroleum. Now I told yesterday, I explained yesterday, coal and petroleum is formed in the crust of the earth. Remember, when dead plants and animals get buried inside the earth, then due to the high temperature and pressure, they get converted into petroleum and coal. Now humans have learned the use of petroleum and coal. So they dig out the coal and petroleum, yes, and they refine it. But this coal and petroleum contain small amount of nitrogen and sulfur. There is nitrogen and sulfur in this petroleum. Now, when we burn these fuels in vehicles, in our kitchens, or whenever the fuel is burned in factories, then this nitrogen and sulfur also get burnt. And what do? They produce oxide of nitrogen and sulfur, like sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, nitrogen dioxide, nitrous oxide, and so on. Now, these gases which are released by vehicles and factories, when we inhale this gas, these gases are very dangerous. Our body is not used to inhaling these gases. Our body can only inhale natural air, make use of the oxygen and throw out the remaining air. But when these gases go inside, it causes a disease of the lungs. It causes the lungs to act differently. Then this smoke, these gases are also there in the atmosphere. So yesterday we learned how rain occurs. Water from the water bodies is evaporated, yes, and that water vapor rises into the air and form tiny droplets. But when these droplets mix with these gases, these oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, then it produces an acid. And such a rain is called acid rain. So usually our parents tell us not to take bath in the first rain. Why? Because all the dust, all the pollutants are in the air and the first rain brings down all that pollution in the form of acid rain. So the rain should be normal pure water, but it is not, it is acidic in nature. And why it is acidic in nature? Because all the smoke that is given out, you can see in the diagram here, all this polluted smoke rises into the air and goes into these clouds. So it is not natural water, but it is all these poisonous gases inside the clouds, and they come down in the form of acid rain. So acid rain then flows to the rivers and they pollute the rivers and the streams and kill the aquatic animals. Okay, so that is what is the one thing air pollution does. Secondly, the combustion of fuels, fossil fuels, like I told, coal, petroleum, when we burn them, the fossil fuels, it increases the amount of suspended particles in the air. What are suspended particles? If you see, when we burn dry leaves or logs of wood, then black color smoke along with some particles is getting into the air. So these black colored particles are unburned carbon particles, which are called hydrocarbons. When the hydrocarbons are not burnt fully, a black color smoke arises. Now this smoke is a pollutant due to which visibility can be lowered, especially in cold weather. So in the cold weather, the air is dense. The air is very dense. There is water vapor in the humidity in the air. The air is very dense, and when the smoke is created, the smoke mixes with this heavy air and condenses out of the air. The water condenses out of the air and forms something called smog. So smog is a word, is a mixture of smoke and fog. So fog is what? The condensed water vapor in the air, very heavy dense air, along with the smoke causes a smog. And the smog causes irritation in our eyes. Okay? Now, sometimes in the hill stations you will find the fogs, yes? But mixed with the smoke, they create a smog. Now, when we regularly breathe such air, such polluted air, what will happen when you regularly breathe that polluted air? It will lead to allergies, cancer, and even heart diseases. Because when we inhale these pollutants, they infect our lungs directly. But if they mix with the blood, then they move throughout the body, harming other organs also. So, the definition of air pollution: an increase in the content of harmful substances in air is called air pollution. So, basically, like I told you, what is air pollution? Earth has given us a natural resource, right? What are the natural resources Earth has given? A crust, that is the soil in which the plants grow, water, which is very necessary for all the living organisms, and air. Air is also very necessary for the earth to survive. The nitrogen in the air, the oxygen, the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is very important for the plants, for photosynthesis. So earth has given us these natural resources. But what has happened? Human activities has changed the balance in these natural resources. So the first part we are doing is how human has changed the natural composition of the air. Natural air should contain, again I tell you, 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 0.03 to 0.04% carbon dioxide, some rare gases, water vapor, etc. But today, in many places, because of human activities, the factories which has come up, the industries, the burning, the pollution has brought an increase in these pollutants and spoiled the resource called air, which is giving rise to a lot of diseases, right? So now let us see what is smog. So smog is a type of air pollution. The word smog comes from two blend of words smoke and fog. So what is fog? When the air is very heavy, very dense with water vapor, it is called fog. You can usually see in very cold winters. And when it mixes with the smoke, it becomes opaque and we cannot see anything. That is smog. Smog is very irritating to the eyes. So smog is formed in any climate where there is lot of air pollution, especially in cities. So Delhi is one such city which has got a constant, yes, smog condition. Why? Because it is a highly industrialized area and there is stubble burning in the neighboring states of Punjab and Haryana. When the smoke gathers in Delhi, then Delhi becomes very, very polluted. Now we go to something called the greenhouse effect. So first let us understand what is a greenhouse. Plants, to survive, need a certain temperature. Plants cannot survive in very cold weather. They need a certain temperature to survive. So in hot regions or in milder regions the plants can survive. But on hill stations, on mountains, all the plants cannot survive. So what is done? A greenhouse is made. What is a greenhouse? It is a room made up of glass. You must have seen in some movies or serials. Greenhouse is a big hall made of glass. Now why use glass? Glass has got a special property. In your house also you will see the windows have glass. Glass will allow the heat of the air to come, heat of the sun to come in. Yes, when the sun falls on this glass, the glass allows the heat to come in, but it does not allow the heat to go out, means it makes the room very hot. So you must have noticed this, in the mountains they keep this greenhouses. It's a glass greenhouse. It is called a greenhouse. It is actually made up of glass, especially for the plants. So in your house also, if you have got windows of glass, you will notice in that room, if there are no curtains, then the room becomes very hot. Why? The heat of the sun can enter through the glass, but then it cannot leave the room, which makes the room very hot. So in very cold regions on the mountains, people make greenhouses. So whatever little sunlight comes there, the light enters the greenhouse, makes it warm and stays inside. So that warm condition make the plants grow well. So that is the greenhouse. Now we come to our air. In the air, which is the gas which gives us the effect of greenhouse? And it is the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a gas which can trap the heat, just like glass. So glass keeps a greenhouse warm. The carbon dioxide keeps our earth warm. Now how does it keep the earth warm? I'll try to show you how it keeps the earth warm. See, this is the surface of the earth, right? And this is the carbon dioxide, the blanket of little carbon dioxide on the earth. Now, when the sun rays fall on the earth, when the sun rays fall on the earth, they bring the heat to the earth, and the earth surface of the earth becomes hot. When it becomes hot, then it makes the air hot, and the sunlight is again reflected. The heat is reflected. But now the heat cannot escape. Why it cannot escape? Because the carbon dioxide has trapped the heat. So heat came from the sun, was allowed to come inside, but now the carbon dioxide has trapped it. It has trapped the heat of the sun. So what is the benefit of this? When the carbon dioxide traps the heat, it gives rise to a greenhouse. So you can see the layer of the earth has become hotter because of the heat of the sun, but carbon dioxide has trapped the sunlight and that keeps the earth warm. But if the carbon dioxide increases, we have got how much carbon dioxide? 0.03 to 0.04%. Now if the amount of carbon dioxide in the air increases, the heat which is trapped also increases, so the earth becomes more hot. So it has intensified the greenhouse effect, means the warmth which was needed, now it has trapped more heat than necessary. The earth has become more hotter, leading to global warming. So global warming is occurring because of the extra carbon dioxide in the air. Now, who converts the carbon dioxide into oxygen? Yes, the plants. The plants take in carbon dioxide, prepare their own food and give out oxygen. But today what are humans doing? In the name of development, we are cutting down the forest. When we are cutting down the forest, the number of trees are reducing. So now there is nobody to convert the carbon dioxide into oxygen. So the amount of carbon dioxide in the air keeps on increasing. And when it is increasing, it traps more heat of the sun, making the earth hotter and hotter, which leads to global warming. Now global warming means there is an increase in the average temperature of the earth. The earth has become hotter now, more hotter. And what happens because it has become hotter? The hot air leads to melting of polar caps. So snow on the mountain, ice on the mountain, in Antarctica and the Arctic region, the polar regions, the ice has started to melt. Why has the ice started to melt? Because the earth has become hotter. Why is the earth become hotter? Because more carbon dioxide is trapped inside more heat is trapped because of the increased carbon dioxide. And when these polar caps start to melt, what happens? All the water rushes into the sea, the level of the sea rises, and some cities will go under the sea. They will be submerged inside the sea. So this is one big danger. All the cities on the banks of the sea, near the sea, on the seashore, might all go underwater depending on their height because of the greenhouse effect. So again, carbon dioxide is the gas which traps the heat of the sun. When we cut down the trees and because of pollution, the amount of carbon dioxide in the air increases. When the carbon dioxide in the air increases, the more heat is trapped, the earth is becoming warmer, average temperature increases, the polar caps start to melt, so the sea level is rising, and because of the sea level rising, the cities on the seashores will be submerged. So, human activity is giving rise in change in environment, and that is affecting the environment around us. So all this human activity we may not know, but on the seashores the land is going under the sea. So this is a consequence, and humans have to be very careful in using these natural resources. The second one is the ozone layer. Now in the atmosphere there is a gas called ozone, but we cannot get the effect of ozone. Why? Because ozone is present in the stratosphere. And how high it is? It is 16 kilometer to 60 kilometer above sea level. It means from the surface of the earth it is 16 kilometer high. So we are not in the ozone layer at all. Now what is ozone? Ozone is an allotrope or molecule of oxygen on the earth. Here got oxygen, whose formula is, what is the formula? O2. The oxygen that we breathe in has got a molecular formula O2, but this ozone has a formula O3, means 3 atoms of oxygen make up this molecule. So this O2 is what we breathe and survive, we live. But this O3 is poisonous. Ozone is poisonous. So it is good that ozone is not near the surface of the earth. Ozone is 16 kilometers above the surface of the earth, and ozone is a very poisonous gas. But why it is important then? It is important because ozone absorbs the ultraviolet rays. Now ultraviolet rays on us can cause skin cancer. So ozone absorbs the ultraviolet rays coming from the sun and protects us from harmful effects like skin cancer, cataract in eyes, and it may even weaken our human system. So because of this ozone layer, humans have survived very healthily for so many years. The ozone layer absorbs the ultraviolet rays coming from the sun. If you see some companies which make sunglasses and spectacles, then they also write UV protection. Have you read that? So some glasses also give UV protection to the eye. Now the picture shows the condition of the ozone layer. The decline in the ozone layer was first observed in 1985 and termed as the ozone hole. So what you can see, this maroon color, this pink color, this bluish color here, okay, this is the ozone layer. And what you can see in that pink, blue color, a pinkish hole is generated. This is the hole. So can you see the ozone hole is becoming bigger and bigger, which is very dangerous for our human beings on the earth. Now, what is the reason for ozone depletion? Why is the ozone hole increasing? It is because of excessive use of CFCs. CFC means chlorofluorocarbon. It is used in refrigerators for cooling, in ACs, jet planes, spray cans, fire extinguishers. All of these use CFCs, the chlorofluorocarbon. It is a cooling agent. So when we make use of ACs and refrigerators, fire extinguishers, we release CFC in the air. The CFC rises in the air, reacts with ozone and breaks up the ozone. Even during nuclear explosion, CFC is released which breaks up the ozone layer. So these days scientists have started using HCFC, this is hydrochlorofluorocarbon, which is not damaging to the ozone layer and saves the environment. So you're going to end the lecture here. A recap of the lecture. What we have seen today. Yesterday we studied about the hydrosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere, and in atmosphere we studied the air. So we studied the components of air, and today we have seen how we are polluting the air. So air is a natural resource, so we have to make sure that we do not pollute the air. It is a blanket covering the earth, providing a lot of safety and health to the environment. Okay, tomorrow we'll move on to the water, which is also a very precious resource. Today we finished with air, so kindly revise the lecture and do it. Okay, thank you. I end here.